Good evening. Just taking my sweatshirt off. A little warm.
You got a sweat on?
I've got a warm on, yes. You'll have to apologise why it's so close. But we haven't got any hissing.
Who says who?
Well, at the moment we haven't. Good evening. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so close. I do beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Not really sure why I'm so close.
It's super duper new camera. New phone.
I've got a new phone. Philippa, hello lovely.
Hello.
Can you confirm if the hissing's gone? Angela, good evening.
Can Brian hear the hissing in the kitchen?
Are you up and running, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Good evening. I'm sorry, my apologies for being so close. Not quite sure why I'm so close to the camera, but I'm not actually. I'm in my normal place, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh, me and technology. Oh. Angela, good evening, lovely. How are you? Let's have a look. Yeah, I can't.
No hissing. Yo.
No hissing. Woo-hoo-hoo. Philippa, thank you. It's cost me. It's cost me a lot of money, but I've got no hissing. Oh, Mum. Oh, hello. You got tea finished quick. Mum's here. Oh, no hissing, Mum. But we're a bit close on the old camera, so I'm sitting right back. But we'll be turning it round in a second anyway. So good evening, everybody. Hopefully everybody's okay. Oh dear, I don't like this closeness. See all my 60 years of wrinkles. Right then, I think what we'll do is we'll turn the camera round, have a little look at to see how this works. We have actually tested it today, but
We did test the
yes,
stand.
no hissing. Woohoo! New phone. So yes, we'll turn it round. Just bear with. Lovely. We've got a new stand. Not that that had anything to do with the hissing at all. And it was obviously the phone because it's in the same connection. So it's been very much subject to elimination.
How's it?
We've been Sherlock Holmes in. Actually, that's brilliant. Now, Mark's on the laptop, so if you could confirm that you can see okay and you can hear me okay, that would be amazing. Yep, fantastic. So if you could check for me, please, that'd be superb.
Oh, Shelley's in.
Oh, hi Shelley. Hello, lovely. So, can everybody hear okay? I've got it up on full blast, so it might be too loud now.
You have to turn it down a bit. To a tab.
Oh dear. Honestly. Technology. Oh, it does my brain in. It really does. I am, yeah. So we've sorted the hissing, which is fantastic. Took us a while, I know, but you know, that's how it is. Right, so I'm going to crack on because I've got two projects to show you. I decided on doing two because they're two quite quick ones. And I thought, you know, these would be...
Jean Gale's just popped in.
Sorry, Julie?
Jean and Gail.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Thank you ever so much, ladies. Right then, so my ladies did these in the workshop yesterday. So they, and they said they really enjoyed them. They enjoyed using the new collection, which I didn't have any doubt that they wouldn't enjoy it really. So we're going to be using all of them basically, the lot. we're going to be using Nature's 1 and Nature's 2, Nature's Garden collections 1 and 2. We're going to be using the solids, and we're going to be using Postage and More number 2. So that's basically all the 4 brand new ones, isn't it? So we're going to do this one first. And like I say, they're really quite quick cards, really, to be quite frank. So that's why I thought I would do the 2 and just show you. But I had a super response to this one on when I posted it last week. So Julie said she would quite like this one. We show you this one. So that's
popped in as well.
Oh, hi Brian. Hello lovely, how are you? Got your washing up done? You've been busy today as well, haven't you? Doing some lovely journal pages as usual. Right then, so basically we're just using the 1 stamp off Nature's Garden number 2, which is this one, and I have to agree with Julie, it reminds me very much of a sweet pea, and that's where the sort of idea was coming from, because I love this washed out water effect, and sweet peas are very delicate, aren't they? And I think it really works rather well. So we need to be using, so I'll just pop that to one side. We need to be using a piece of watercolour card. Now, the actual card blank that I'm using is 8 inches by 7 inches. So it's a reasonable, so I know we're cutting down on using big cards, but you could quite happily pass this over to your friend. You know, sort of deliver it, couldn't you, this one? But of course, you could do exactly the same technique and only use 1 flower. So just make it a lot smaller and just do the 1 flower and do exactly the same technique. So you know, it's completely doable in a much smaller size. So I've already got my stamps already on the block. So this one, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to be using the Versafine Claire, the Nocturne. I did have a go with it initially when I was playing around with the idea. I did have a go with the grey, and I thought it might look a little bit even more subtle, but you know, I'll be honest, it was too subtle, so I went back to the black with this one. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to stamp the first one, the first flower in the middle. There we go. Just making sure. Now this is watercolour cardstock, so when you're using watercolour cardstock, you need to just not be wary, but be mindful that this stamped image is going onto a sort of not quite a smooth area. I don't have any doubt that this was stamped properly because they're excellent quality stamps. I don't know about anybody else, but I've quite enjoyed. I loved it when these came out because they weren't Christmas. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you've been doing Christmas a few months, you get to the point of thinking, yeah. Right, so I'm just going to do another one, exactly the same stamp onto the right hand side, and I've just tilted it slightly, only just to make it a little bit different to the original one. And again, just make sure that you have got, use a stamp press obviously if you want to do, and if you get on better with them. There we go, so that's the second one. And we've been seeing some gorgeous makes on Crafty Friends with Julie Hickey, haven't we? Absolutely gorgeous. Using the new collection, you're obviously loving it.
Alison and Yvonne's just...
Oh, good evening, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Right, so that is our third one. So it's going in more of an arc this time rather than one in the middle and one slightly to one side. So that is our main stamp really of the whole design. So just wipe that clean, pop that over there. So right, so we've got that one ready. Now what we need to do now is we need to do the colouring. So there is other stamping obviously that needs to be done. There's a little bit of stenciling as well, but we need to do the colouring first, and I will explain why. Now the inks that I'm using tonight, they're a water-based ink. They're the Cosmic Shimmer ones. I'm using the turquoise blue, the hot magenta and the golden green. You will notice that the colours, I've got one that's pink, one that's blue and one that's purple, but of course you put that one and that one together and you get a purple, and of course the green, which is obviously the lovely one for the leaves. Now all you need to do is just got a little pipette at the top. I'm sure you've seen these before. Andy Skinner brought them out. You don't need a great deal at all. They're really, really concentrated. I love the fact it's got a pipette.
Sue Flitcross just arrived.
Ah, good evening, Sue. And a little bit of green.
Apparently Brian doesn't do Christmas.
Brian doesn't do Christmas at all? You do leave it all to Philippa?
Probably.
You monkey. What, you mean you don't make Christmas cards or you don't do Christmas? I'm sure that you do Christmas. Well, I know Philippa loves Christmas, so you'll have to confirm that. I'm sure that you actually do Christmas. Now, so if you wanted to, you could obviously water these down a little bit if you wanted to. It depends on how strong that you want the colours to be. You could, if you wanted to, you could emboss these. Not sure. I haven't ever embossed them. I've got to be, not when I'm doing this technique, I must admit, because
Jean seems to think you're a bit far away. Maybe she ain't got glasses on.
I'm a bit far away. I was too close earlier.
Too close earlier, yeah.
Oh God, that was scary. Right, so just filling it in. Now, you don't really have to be too overly fussy about doing light and shade and that sort of thing, because you'll find that once that you add the spray, the water, it will actually disperse and make its own light and shade anyway. So I've just dipped the tip just a tiny bit into the blue, and then you can see just a tiny bit. Honestly, you do not need a great deal.
Apparently Philippa does do it all.
Oh, Philippa, do you? Oh, you do love it though, don't you? But I suppose doing it all and loving it is two different things, really. Well, Brian, I'm going to have to have a word. I'm joking. Right, so what I've done is just put a bit more of that nice blue into there. You can see I've put some of the blue on top of the pink, and that has given me a purple, because of course blue and pink will make the purple, won't it? So if you're buying, my big tip is, and I'm sure you all know this anyway, but I will just mention it. When you're buying any inks or anything like that, think about, but water-based I'm talking about, think about how they will go together, because what you can do, you can get so much more mileage out of your stamps, so much more, if you think about the combinations and how they would work. And you don't have to buy as many all in one go. You can eke out your pennies a little bit if you think about it. But you can see how lovely these are going on to the watercolour card. I must stress, you do need watercolour card of some kind to do this, because if not, it won't run when you want it to, when we spray it. So I'm just putting that in there. Just now, I do want to put a little bit of yellow. Now, I don't have a yellow one of those
in the house. She wants me to zoom in.
Kay wants to... Hi, Kay. You want to zoom in?
Kay wants me to zoom in.
Oh, okay. Cool, right. They're getting all technical tonight, Mark,
God,
aren't they? Oh, what have you done?
Nothing yet.
Oh. Okay. Right, so I'm using, because I haven't got a yellow in the inks, I've just got the 3 colours at the moment, but I definitely am going to be getting some more. Is that over the page now? So I'm using my mustard seed. It's my oxide. You could use your regular distress ink. It wouldn't matter. It's just that obviously the pink and the yellow makes a lovely orange, which is quite nice. I mean, at the moment, it looks a little bit like, oh, really? That looks a bit funny. Obviously, don't mix the yellow with the blue because you're going to get green. There we go. Is that any better, ladies? Is that all right, Mark?
Shelley thinks we've got a bit of a strange angle. It's a new phone, so I'm not sure about.
Bring it right over the top. That's what you need to do. We have had a little bit of a play with it, but literally I've had it days. You know, stop the hissing, and then I've got another problem. But I'll carry on and just keep painting. Is that better? As long as you can see what I'm doing, that's the main thing. And then we'll have a little bit more of a play with it when we've it's an iPhone, so I've had the last iPhone since way before lockdown, so you know I've had it quite some time, and it was well ready to be changed. But to be honest, you get a little bit it was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. It worked every day when I switched it on. Do you know what I mean? So I tended to stick with it. But then obviously we started having this problem with the hissing. And that's when we realised that maybe I'd seen the best. There we go. Oh, well, I can actually see it now. Oh, that is better, Gail. Thank you, my lovely. We do aim to please. Right, so this is the point where we're going to spray it with the water. Now, this is why you need to use, you need to use watercolour, but you also need to use a decent watercolour cardstock. All right, so when you spray it, don't over egg it. Honestly, don't look at that. Oh, isn't it lovely? It never fails to amuse me, that doesn't. I just love the way that it just goes. But you could do this. You can do this with all watercolour. You know, they need to be a little bit more intense. Don't go for real pale. Go for quite intense colours. But all water-based inks. So you could just use your distress inks, of course. Just got a little bit more over there than what I wanted, so I'm just dabbing that bit off. I'm just going to dab this bit off here, just a tad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the cards tonight in 2 stages, because I now want to leave that a few minutes just to run a little bit and also dry a little bit. Now, we could force dry it. That would not be a problem. We were doing that in class yesterday because obviously, you know, we had 3 projects to do yesterday. Time was not of the essence, but you know what I mean. It needs to be caught up a little bit quicker than just putting it to one side if you're at home on your crafting area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that just to the side, just for a few minutes. Keep it on the same level. Don't put it on anything that's obviously going to be flopping over the edge or anything, because of course what's going to happen there is it's going to drip in a certain direction, which you don't want, and then it's going to spoil the effect of it. Okay, so I know it sounds all little silly little tips, but can you tell that maybe the things that maybe I've done in the past and thought, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. So what we're going to do, just to give that a couple of minutes, just to do its thing, I'm going to now go in and do my little sentiment. Now, for this one, I've just done the one. Now, for the one that we did yesterday, so that's just the one, I'm using the Postage and More set 2 for that, and the solid in the middle. And then for yesterday's, what we did was we just changed it a little bit, and I've put silver mirri, matted and layered it with silver mirri and some lovely lilac basil paper. And then I've used the biggest one of the diamond shapes, and then the 2 smaller ones. I thought we'll just stick with this one tonight, and we'll show you. I'll just do that one. I'm sure you've all had lots of playtime with the stamps though, so we'll just nice light tapping as usual. And just got a scrap here. This is where your scraps come in handy. Oh, you know what I've done? I've done that first, and I should have actually done the other. I should have done the solid, but not to worry. I can use that for something else. Now, obviously, with solid stamps, you need to be aware that they need a little bit more attention when you're inking them. So what you can do is you can use one of your finger dauber ink it up with your. And thank you to Jean for these. So I was really short of these. I need to get some sorted. So get some ink on, and then you can dab it onto your stamp. If you wanted to, you can do it like that. Or I've done it on, if you pick it up like this, just dab it all over. And what you're trying to get an even coverage without too many lines. Let me try and get that on as well. Don't want to waste it. Right, okay, so we've got that. Just need to be a little bit more aware that by just popping your stamp on, a couple of little taps like you would normally do, it's not going to do it, because you need to be aware it's a solid stamp. So just double check them in the middle. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to stamp that like so. Absolutely stunning, aren't they? And of course, there's so many different examples of how you can use these stamps. I think they're one of the most useful sets. I really, really do. Because, there we go. You can do so many things. Lovely background patterns with them. All sorts of things. Because, you know, I love to do pattern building as well. So I've been playing around with a few ideas with the pattern building. Backgrounds. First generation, second generation stamping. Now, normally I would pull this too. I can't really pull it to me too much. My top tip for this would be to stand up, but I can't do that just as it. I'm just going to have to just pop my head over. And what I tend to do is I line it up here and I line it up there. And when you've decided to go for it, go for it. Don't think, oh, and then don't, because you can guarantee you've already got part of the stamp down. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed. Yay, it's in the middle. Lovely. So obviously this goes with this, but you can use them independently. No problem at all. So I'll just give that a quick spray and a quick wipe. But do play around with them. They're great, absolutely. And something else as well that I've been playing around with. If you put paint on a messy mat, a piece of acetate or whatever, loosen it off a little bit with some water and then dip your solid stamps in and then stamp them or print them out. A little bit like, you know, when you were little and you did potato stamping. You used to get a potato and you used to carve in the potato and make a pattern, and then you did it at school, didn't you? Well, I know I did. A little bit like that, really, to be honest, dipping it into the paint. And of course you can do the kiss stamping technique if you haven't done kiss stamping before. Oh, that's fantastic as well. So lots and lots we can do. Now I've chosen Special Friend, and then that is that's actually off the Postage and More stamp set number 1. She says, is it number 1? I think so. Yes, Christmas one is the original one, just Postage and More. Then there's 1, then there's 2. I think I might be wrong there. I'm sure Philippa will put me right if I'm wrong. Right, so then what we need to do, we just need to cut this out. So all I do is I don't actually go in and out because I find I personally get more of them in a mess with that. I'm good at cutting out, but I think if you just go straight with them. There we go. So that is our little sentiment there. Now I've also got a piece of gold because that's continuing the trend of the gold being matted onto the main event as well. Let me just give this a bit of a shake. It's a new bottle. I've literally just opened it just before we came on. Just get fantastic. It's perhaps been stood too long. Oh yes. That's it. It's a brand new. I'll just nip the top off there. I think it was just there we go. So let's just put a bit of glue on there and put that down, put that on there and that on there while that's just sitting for a minute. Gosh, those scissors are really, I've been using them for...
Brian liked the potato job, he learned it off Tony Hart, of course. Oh, now that is a blast from the past. Yeah. Thank you, Brian. We never, ever missed one of his programmes. We all of us loved it. We really did. There we go. So popped a bit of a mat around the edge. And again, this could be a bit of a scrap of your mirror. So, you know, don't throw bits away. Keep bits like that because they do come in handy. Right, so we're going to bring this back in. Let me have a little look. So it's cut. That's nice. Yeah, happy with that. That's there's a little bit water left there. So I'm just going to take that off. But it's come along a tree, hasn't it? It's really nice. So it's spread nicely. I quite like the way that, because I've done it in a bit of an arc, the stamps, it's sort of gone out in a bit of a rainbowish type thing. Right, I'm just going to give it very, very, very quick warm. Sorry about the noise. Not on my glass mat though, because that will make the condensation. So if you just give it a little bit of a tickle with the heat tool, I mean obviously if you've got a bit more time then you can just leave it. It makes no difference. It doesn't make the inks any less sort of vibrant or anything. And then I always turn it over and do some from the back. Not only does that make it go back into the shape, but also it just gives it a little bit of an extra bit of warmth to get it to just give it a bend back. That's it, lovely. Right, so you'll notice in the background I've done a very, very, very faint, just a little touch of stencil. So this is good old favourite stencil. Now I'm not going to put any ink on my brush at the moment because I think that I've got enough, because it really is the faintest of bits of the ink, and I've chosen pink. There you go, look, I've got nothing on my brush, so well, I have, obviously, it's not magic, but I didn't want to add any because it would have been too much. There we go. So that's just added a little tiny bit. I'll just put a little bit in that corner. Just a little bit of something in the background. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use, now I've got choices here. So this one, this gorgeous, I call it the fireworks stamp because it's a lovely little, it looks like a little firework, doesn't it? This one is off number 2, Nature's Garden number 2. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a, just add a couple of bits onto here. Lovely little stamp, lovely little filler stamp, but equally we could do a lot with this as a main stamp. Beautiful in a frame. Nearly dropped that. Ooh, that would have been a disaster. That would have been a butterfly moment over that, wouldn't it? I think another one just here. And then just a little bit of this one, which is the dotty one. And that one is off number 1. So I'm just very lightly just going to, just a couple of these. There we go. And just, I think, one more. So the sentiment is going to go there. I think this piece of card is a bit smaller than the original one, but put a little bit there. Maybe a tad just coming off the page there. That's it. I don't think we need any more than that. So they're the little filler stamps, which are absolutely fantastic. And I have to say, Julie, it's amazing that we've got those on this, on all these sets, because they really, I think they're a godsend. Now I've got a little bit of, oh, not MDF, that's no good. A bit of, I should have a little bit of cardboard here. Use this as my lift instead of foam tape, as we do. So I'm just going to lift it just slightly above the actual sentiment. I might put that on in a second. Right, so the reason being, because I think I might want to just put it slightly further down onto the mirror. I'll see. Just stick this down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a piece of blue roll, in case that's not quite dry, to press that down with. Could you just add a bit of copy paper or something, whatever you've got to hand. That's it, lovely. It's a little bit bigger than that side. Just going to have to trim that because that would be really annoying.
Craft knife. I'll get my trimmer. Just need to take a slither off there, really. Because once you've got it matted and laid, you can do nothing about it, can you? That's better. Right. And then we're going to put it on some yellow. And then a little bit of black. But again, you can do it exactly as you wish. I do think it needs lifting a little bit with maybe pick a colour out that you know you've used, and that will also bring out the colour in the actual picture itself. It's like when you do frame an actual picture, isn't it? You always pick out a little bit of colour. Now I went with the black. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I felt like these needed just a little bit to pop those little bits. And then finally just onto the, yes, the right way. And then we're going to pop this on. And now the reason for that is, like I say, the reason I didn't put it on before is I can actually bring that down a tad. In the middle. There we go, that's in the middle. And then I just added. Oh, hi Jean. Oh, bless her. Jean's been ever so poorly. She's been in hospital. Oh dear. She's had us really worried. But she's on the mend. Thank goodness. She's got to get herself better. Yeah, I've got to get you better for the Christmas get together, Jean. That's your target. I think my Brighton tool wants a bit of a wash. It's got too many. Oh, no. I know it's got a bit of fluff on it, and I've had the top on it as well. Never mind. Right, so all I've done is just a couple of bits of just a few glosses. Just dotted around, similar colours. You know, you can put gems if you prefer gems on them, whatever you want. But that is our first offering. So that'll stick down when it dries. So that was our original one. Oh, I did put the hearts on. Oh, I won't put the hearts on this one though. Yeah, the hearts are actually off the solid, look. Off the solid set there, this one here. Which is rather lovely. And then of course we did have this one as well, which had the lilac. So it's surprising, I can't put them both together, but it's surprising how different they look. But I've used exactly the same inks, because the lilac seems to be picking out more of the blue and the purpley tones, whereas with the yellow border around it, it's then picking out the more of the yellow hues, isn't it? So yeah, so it's surprising. So that is our first one. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how I did this one. So I've got two slightly different ones. I'll show you. We just move these to one side and move the other stamps in. Them all, yeah. And I'm going to go completely different with colouring on this one as well. We are going to go with purples instead of the blues. So mixture of stamps. Obviously we're using the square in the background, but you could equally use the circle if you wanted to. You could use the diamond. It really wouldn't, or the rectangle, really. You could. It'd be interesting to see some different ideas as well. Really quick and easy card to make. So if you need one quite quick, this one would be a really good one to have.
just slightly different, just different VersaFine Clair inks for the backgrounds, just different tones of blue. And with this one I've used the 2 different flowers, one off set 1 and one off set 2, and the dandelion head, that's what I'm calling it. And then with this one we use the same flower. Okay, so a little bit of just a very slight variation. So piece of card. Now these cards were 6 by 6, but it would look really fabulous with 5 by 5 as well. So what you need to do first is you need to make yourself a frame. Now what I do is I use my mat, whether it be my glass mat, or normally my glass mat, or any other mat that you've got, ruler, pencil, very lightly with your pencil. And you can see I'm using, where's that mark coming from? There's my rubber. I'm going to need that in a minute anyway to rub my lines out. Let's see if I can get that off there. If not, it'll have a little filler stamp on it. Oh yes, it's come off. Is it with my ruler? Nope. Right. So line it up with 1 line, and then I've used 3 squares down. So I do believe that is 1/2 centimetre. But I'm doing square language now because it's easy. But use your mat. So much easier. And of course that's what it's for, you know, they've made all the effort to do all these lovely measurements for you. So right, so we've got a frame now. The reason for the frame will become very, very evident in a second. But if you're really good at just lining things up without a frame, then, you know, go ahead. But I tell you, I wouldn't be able to do it. So this stamp is actually clean, but we used the blue on it yesterday. And of course with the VersaFine Clair. I'm using the Fantasia on this one. And I do need some scrap paper for this. So we're going to do the background first, of course. And so we're going to ink up the stamp. Can we see? Am I in? Yep, lovely. I'm going to ink up the stamp. Now, when you're inking up the stamp, I'll get another one of my little daubers. When I'm doing a background like this, I'm not actually super concerned about getting every single tiny bit covered, because I actually quite like the idea of the little patches, but you'll have to see what you think when you do it. Now that's really strong ink. I've chosen that one because I really love it, but I don't want it that strong. So if I stamped that in there now, it will be really dark, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to stamp it off. Okay, and then I'm going to line it up with the corner and then stamp it down. There we go. So you do have to ink it up every time. Give it a little bit of a once over with your little daubers. It just makes using the daubers just makes it more even. So remember, stamp off, do the next corner. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. If you get areas like this, seriously, I actually quite like them. And it's not because I'm saying that because I think, oh, we haven't stamped that properly, Jo. I'm showing you on the original ones. I'd call it a vintage look, but I'm not sure whether that would. I've got a bit of her hair in there. That's not going to be very good. So there we go. Stamp it off, and then the next corner, so you know where I'm going now with this, don't you? So each corner, and then that's going to give you your positioning basically for your other stamps. Now you can get a solid, completely perfect square. There is absolutely nothing wrong with these stamps. It's because I am taking some off and it's different levels. Oh, now then, what have I done? What have I done? I was talking and I didn't take it off. Now then, and what did I tell everybody yesterday at class? Concentrate on what you're doing when you're doing your block stamping, because that's you're going to make an error. So, do you know what I'm going to do? What am I like? I'm going to stamp that second generation stamp like I should have done on a square. Now this is for this purpose only, because I don't want to start again and do the framework, because I don't want to hold you all up. Stamp it again and then place that over the top. Got a slight shadow there, but we're not going to worry about that. Not for the purposes of the demonstration. I might turn that round, see if it fits better. There you go. Ta-da! Magic. It's not magic at all. It's because I didn't concentrate properly. No, Tony Hart did not do that. No, Tony Hart was a professional. I'm far from a professional. What you would think I should be really after all this time, but anyway. Right, so let's just concentrate, Jo Channon. Second generation stamp. So we've got our four corners. Pretend that didn't happen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop, just hover it up against the pencil line, pretty much in the middle. And stamp it down. There you go. Because you've got your two squares there, haven't you, to actually keep an eye on what's happening. You've got something to guide your eye with, and then make it nice and even. So take that print off, and then stamp it. There we go. And just continue that. And do exactly the same here. There you go. So you need a nice strong colour, but you really do need, obviously, when you've got the strong colour, you need to, well, you don't have to have you don't have to go with it. You can go with the pastel if you want, but you do need to make it look like you've actually done something in the background, because by the time you get your flower and foliage over the top, you need to make sure that you can still see the background a little bit. And just the last one in the middle. Take that off a little bit, like that, make it smoother. Stamp one on over there, and then right. There. There we go. So we've got our background, And then obviously what we would do is we would take our pencil lines out. I'm not going to worry about that just right this second, because we want to finish it off, don't we? So it's a nice purple, that really lovely purple. So oh, actually I will just take these out, so then I'll tell you why. What we need now is you need to, as well as the piece of copy paper to actually take your print off, you also need a piece, either a piece of copy paper or thin paper, not a piece of card, and I'll explain in a second why. You want a piece of paper to hand with a nice straight line on it. So take your rubber away. So if I just take a little bit of this, that's it. I've got a little bit of glue there, so I'm just going to take that off with my lovely clean glue eraser. And I'm going to be mindful that that obviously is a square that I've put on, so I don't want that to be at a different level than these. So what we need to do now is we need to add our flowers. So I've got the stamp that we had on the first card, which is the one off Nature's Garden number 2. I'm also going to use the smaller of the 2 designs of Nature's Designs number 1. I need that over there just for a sec. So we need to be stamping in black. Well, personally, that's what I think, because it needs to pop. Okay, just make sure you get a good coverage. And then obviously the design is your own then. You can do whatever you want. But what I like to do is, I like to do the edge one over the edge a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's gone a bit too far, but that's fine. I'll tell you what we could do there. Oh, there's a lot of tricks tonight, isn't there? Take a black fine liner. Draw it back in. There you go. And then what we need to do now is just add what we want here and there. Now, the reason for the copy paper is, put that there, is what I don't want to do is I don't want to have any of the black stamping going over the bottom of the squares, if that makes sense. I don't want it going in this area here. So that's why you use copy paper. Now, the reason why we use copy paper and not card is because the card is too thick. If I put that piece of card there, which is fantastic, it's got a nice straight line on it, but what would happen is when you stamp it, there'll be a little tiny bit here that won't stamp because it will be over, it will go over the depth of the card, and it will only stamp a little bit further on, and that's why you use paper and not card, because the paper's thin enough just to take the stamp and it will be nice and level. Okay, so there is a reason to use paper and not card. So we're going to put this gorgeous little stamp here. We might use that one again, but at the minute I'll just put that one there. I also want to use this one. So I tend to use the slightly bigger ones first, and then I go in with the other ones. So now what we can do is, if I want that to be, I actually want it to be quite high up because I want a tall flower there. But if I wanted it much, much lower, if I stamped it there, it would be a really lovely, well, a different height, if you see what I mean. But you wouldn't obviously get the stamping going on. You've still got a nice clean edge look. So that, hopefully that makes sense. It all makes sense in my head. I don't want another one of that. I think I might have another one of those. I want another big flower. I'm not sure. I think. Let's have a little look. Okay, so on that leveled up. Yeah, so if we put that there, but quite a bit lower, won't matter if the leaf goes over the other flower that we've just done, because of course in a meadow you're going to see them, aren't you? You're going to see in different layers, different positions. There you go. So it's nicely building up now. Now this one here, this stamp here, now this one is off number 2, Nature's Garden number 2. Great filler, fantastic filler stamp, this one, especially for things like this. So pop that there. Look at this, look, when we put this in, look there, how lovely is that? And if you wanted to as well, you can do a second generation, which of course is going to be lighter. It's going to be much, much lighter, but it is really lovely. And then also do it in a different angle, and then do a second generation, because it then looks like it's in the background. I think I need something a bit taller there. What have I got? I've got lots to choose from. Oh, I know, I did have this already, look. I knew I had something else that I wanted. I wonder if I could. Normally I put the tall ones down first and then I add the smaller ones. So let's have a little look. Don't think we'll spoil it. Let's have a look. Put that there. Let's have a look. I'm going to go for it. And I know I'm floating it. I know I am. And I know the stalks are not going to go to the bottom. But we're going to bring in the pen again, and if we just extend that to the end of the square, there we go. When that's dry, it will look the same as the ink. And now what we need to do, we just need to add a little bit of so I've got the dots. Now these little dots are from the solid set, so I'm just going to add a couple of those, or a few of those here and there, because again they are fantastic little filler stamps. There we go. And then we've got this teeny weeny flower. Now then, let me just get this one right. This one is off set 1, the tiniest little flower. Don't discard how brilliant little flowers like this are, honestly. Just here, just there, little tiny gaps that you think, what can I do with that? And if you wanted to, you could do 2 together like that, makes it quite sweet. And then we'll just have one just there. And Hessian. So the Hessian. Now I don't want that. I've put it on the block so that I don't lose it. But what I want to do is I want to just put it in my hand, and I'm just going to very, very lightly I'm going to take some of that off. I'm just going to turn that a little bit. I'm taking off on my sheet the copy paper that's at the side of me, because what I don't want is, I don't want it really dark. Okay. Obviously you can do it on a block, it doesn't matter, but it just gives it a little bit of an uneven surface. It's not quite so formed if you do it like that. So, and then and then all we would do is, oh, what did I do? I think I did a little sentiment, didn't I? Oh, I know what I did. I did a thank you. The thank you is on the Postage and More set 2, and it is the perfect size. Perfect size. Now then, just take that one off there. And the thank you is on here. So just place it. Get off. There we go. It's sticking to my fingers. There we go. Thank you. Of course, you could put whatever you like. There we go. So you could either choose the VersaFine Claire Fantasia for the sentiment, or of course you could use the black, whichever one, it wouldn't matter. And then we're just going to put that, no, actually I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to put that there, little thank you stamp there. And then I've got this gorgeous little, actually no, I'm going to go for the double little flower, which is on the Postage and More set. Just put that there. You need to be careful with these little tiny stamps. And I am going to be using the VersaFine Claire for this one, because you've got instant colour then. Just either side. Turn that round so we've got symmetry. There we go. So on some black, put the lid there. Cool. An explosion of stamps and inks on my desk now. Just move it all out the way and then we'll... There we go. So I personally like these little areas where it's faded. But, you know, if you don't, then you just be mindful that you get plenty of ink on. But you must remember that you need to take off your first generation stamp. Because if not, if you can imagine, if I'd have left that on then, well, you saw how dark it was. If you'd have left that on there, then it would have been far too dark. And then these wouldn't pop. You know, they wouldn't pop out. Now, these don't need any colour. You don't need to add any colour because it's sort of like a bit of a silhouetting type idea, if that makes sense. Now, I have on this one, I have put a couple of little gems. There we go, look, just a few little gems on there. I didn't on that one. What I did do is I did colour the little flowers on these just to see what I thought. And then afterwards I thought, well, maybe I didn't need to do that. So I didn't do it on that one, but I did colour the little corner pieces from that stamp that I chose there. So that's the difference with the purple and the blue. Obviously you go with whatever colour you like. So there we go. So that's our little offering for this evening. A couple of little tricks there to show you when you make a mistake, what to do. We are only human, you know. Well, so that was our... I'll just take that one out because you've seen that one. So those two there. Hopefully you can see those in the bit there. Yes, look good in monochrome. Absolutely, 100% Tina. 100% it would. And in that case... the VersaFine Claire Lost Shadow, is it? Is it Lost Shadow? Or it may not be that. There is a distressing, because I know which is the grey as well, which I think could be called a Lost Shadow. That would be ideal for that. And then obviously the black over the top. And also, I know we don't enjoy making them, but I'm afraid life does mean sometimes that we have to do. For a sympathy card, I do think that would make a lovely, lovely sympathy card as well, because it's very, it's not overstated, it's not too much colour, but it obviously, you don't even have to put any words on. You can just write inside what you want to say, really. But yeah, so I think well, that's dried an absolute treat now, and you can see the colours. It's a little bit like Northern Lights. I know a lot of you have been seeing those. We haven't here. I don't know whether you have, Shelley. All right, well, we definitely.
Well, looking, have we?
Well, no, but we did when they said, we thought, oh, we'll have a quick, but then no, and it's too late. You have to stay up till the middle of the night or something, don't you? Oh, can't do that. Anyway, we'll turn you back. Let's turn you back, but I'll. We need to push it back. Now that will be really scary. That's it. Push it far back as what we can go.
Call a quadruple of.
Oh, Irene.
robins.
Irene said she loves it in the purple.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's better. Oh, I'm further back now. That's good. Yeah. I don't know how that worked. Yeah. What do you call a flurry of robins? Did you see the robins? Let me just turn you round. Mark's been doing the robins. Look, can you see the robins? Look.
Seagulls.
See the. Oh, the seagulls. Yeah, I know. You think we'd live by the sea, wouldn't you? Yeah, the robins. They're being done for a fair that we're doing. So, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your lovely comments. I do appreciate them. Have a little look when we've I like to get packed up and then get home and then have a look at the comments then. But I really do appreciate you popping in. Thank you ever so much. Hope you've enjoyed it. You've seen a couple of variations on the colours as well. And I think it would be lovely if, you know, those that have got the solid stamps and obviously the Nature's Garden stamps, if you have a little go. Do remember though, a couple of little things. Do remember, obviously, to stamp off. She says, like, because she didn't on one of them. And do also remember the bottom to use the paper. So obviously you can then put, oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you very much. Thank you, Irene. Then you can go up and down with the different levels of the stamps rather than having them all the same, because you're never going to see that in nature, are you? So not in a meadow, really. So anyway, thank you ever so much. Thank you to Mark for looking at the comments.
No problem.
Because I'm absolutely rubbish at doing that and doing the, I'm not a typical woman and can't do two things in one go. Before you say anything, Brian. Anyway, because that's before Mark said it, because yeah. Anyway, thank you ever so much. Any questions, obviously, just pop them in the group. Don't forget to share your makes. I know you all do. And I don't really need to say that. And of course, all the Pinterest boards. Don't forget all the design team and all of Julie's fabulous designs are on the Pinterest boards. And there's lots and lots and lots of inspiration on there. So have a little look on there as well. And the suppliers are all at the top of the page on the Julie Hickey Designs. If you haven't got the stamps and I have inspired you, then everybody, and they are there. And yeah, okay. Have a lovely rest of your evening and thank you ever so much. And I'll see you all soon. Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.